Get just about everywhere from.
I thought you were saying you can get just about anything.
That
Rocky Mountain High
is also very true. Well, we're glad you're here. Thrilled to be here at the Litecoin Summit. What a great community of developers and entrepreneurs and tokenists that are building the future together for Litecoin. Give yourselves a hand. I think it's amazing. Very good at clapping for themselves.
That is true, except that person. She just did 2 claps.
Yeah. Okay.
Very weak clap.
Step up.
Clap game. She's holding a drink though.
They're clapping.
You know, that's what I want to say is like everyone that I've met here has been really cool, super smart, awesome people. This is a great, great community. So we're definitely pleased to be here. So thank you to the Lightpoint Foundation for having us out and Open Block for having us as well.
Absolutely. Well, we've got a few segments for you. We were going to be interviewing Mr. Charlie Lee today. We've got our sponsor Open Block. We've got a crypto pitch. But first, we're going to get to the news. Little transition music. Naomi, come on up. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin Girl. I'm going to put her on 5. There you go. Give that a test.
News officially as well.
Oh, we don't need her on 5 then. She's got a lob. All right.
She's got a lob.
She's got it. Okay. All right, here we go. You want to do a quick check?
Testing my microphone.
Okay.
Oh, successfully.
And joining us for the news today, a recurring guest, a friend of the show, the one and only from Perth, Australia, the delightful Naomi Brockwell.
I like your accent.
It's not Australian.
It's not. Nice and close. But it's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so what we like to do is go through some of the news of the week, and actually let's just jump into CoinMarketCap for today because apparently my internet is down.
Let's dump it with the CoinMarketCap.
No, we're gonna take a look
Things couldn't get worse.
because things are reasonably green today. We're looking at Bitcoin just over 6,500, Ethereum back off its lows of what was it, 167 to 223. Ripple sitting at 28 cents. Bitcoin Cash. Bcash, 459. Litecoin is sitting at $56, and Tether, slipping, 0.998. So
still around $1. I don't know when the hell that's going to move.
When is it going to move?
It's pretty stagnant. You know, I've been waiting for that to move, and it just hasn't gone anywhere.
It has not gone anywhere.
Yeah.
So let's talk some Litecoin news then, and Charlie might be able to actually give us some more insight on this once we have him on here. But the story from AMB Crypto, USD markets open on Bittrex for Litecoin and adoption is in progress.
That is true. So yeah, they're going to do Litecoin to USD markets. So if you can basically buy other cryptos with your Litecoin now,
including Cardano and Zcash, but not Bcash.
Right? Well, you can't buy all the other ones with it, just a few.
Well, I don't know. It just says that
depends what's on the exchange. How many exchanges is Litecoin on? Like
a lot of
all
them.
Of them.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that with Charlie.
Is there any of them that's not on there? Like it should totally be on
yes.
there. So.
Yes, and Charlie mentioned this in his keynote yesterday. Ironically, Gemini, which is a sponsor of the Litecoin Summit.
But they did announce, when was it? It's October 13th. Yeah,
this is an informed audience.
Yes, you guys should do the news.
Yeah, we're done. We're out of here.
They already know all this stuff. We're all like, yeah, all the
so
details.
that's pretty exciting. So they actually announced that yesterday at the Litecoin Summit. We had a panel with Gemini and big news. You know, that's awesome for the Litecoin community.
That is big news. Gemini's pretty huge.
Huge! We got all the best people.
We got all the best
cryptos.
So people are super excited about this. There was also some talk during Charlie's keynote about Litecoin futures, right? And Bitcoin futures and all that are coming. And there's actually a company that we came across recently that we had on the show called Digitex. And they are a commission-free futures exchange. They have their own native currency, it's DGTX, and one of the things you'll be able to buy is Litecoin.
They do Ethereum futures, Bitcoin futures, Litecoin futures. and some other ones down the road. Kind of cool.
So there's no fee on this? So how do they
That's
earn
how
money?
they're
Just
tokens.
because it's the token, or do they also have a big spread? Like, how does that
That's
work?
something to do with the token, right? You pay with the token, that's part of the commission. I'm not sure, you do trades and you get,
So
I don't
right
know
into
the
the
tokenomics.
ecosystem,
really.
you're hoping that the token becomes more valuable?
Exactly.
Yeah, they're gonna like create new tokens each year or something to sort of cover the fees of the exchange.
So by inflation or
A
something?
little bit. That's all good stuff.
Speculation. Okay, some big bank news. I mean, how much do we love those big banks? How much do we love Jamie Dimon?
I love him about as much as I love Ben Losky.
Yeah.
Ben Losky.
Who I still don't know.
Coin Daddy, who's Ben
Going
Losky?
Daddy knows Ben
He knows
Losky
who Ben
now.
Losky is.
You guys were here last
Oh,
night
yeah.
for the quiz show with Naomi Brookwell,
Coin
who
Daddy.
changed her Twitter handle today.
Because of these two, because they told me if you listen to Sky
I was like, what the hell is a
most
sky
ridiculous
corridor?
thing in
She's
the
like,
world.
you know, when there's a cloud and the sunshine shines through, it's like a
The shocked of
corridor.
light. It's true, it's beautiful. I thought it was lovely, and these guys were like, that's the worst brand.
I was like, I have no idea. I can never tweet you because I don't remember your damn name.
And so now I'm maybe from the
Was that accent any better?
That was great.
That was
Much better
actually
than yours,
worse.
John. Yeah.
Womp womp.
All right.
All right, so speaking of big banks, according to Bloomberg, Morgan Stanley is planning Bitcoin trading for clients. But I thought that all these banks said crypto's never going to go anywhere.
And that's what happened. The market didn't respond to all of the FUD, and it didn't die, and you didn't have Bitcoin die or Litecoin die or any of these things. They basically held their bottom, so now they're like, all right, we better consolidate positions and buy into this thing because it ain't going anywhere. And it's just been like an awful, like trying to, basically a purge campaign. They were trying to kill crypto with all of this mainstream media ridiculousness, and it didn't work. And crypto's here to stay, and the cat's out of the bag, and you can't uninvent it, as Carly said yesterday. So now they're buying in, and we'll see what happens.
And they're creating patents, right? I mean,
Oh, God,
America's
it
having
drives me
patents
crazy.
and these other patents, like, it's like we wanted to get away from the big banks. And I hear they all are like, we're like, oh, please, when are the banks going to say yes to an ETF? We need to, no, we want to be away from that.
What we want more in our open source technology is more patents, so that government comes in and controls this.
We want more centralization in our decentralization.
There was the rumor that Goldman Sachs had dropped its plans for a Bitcoin trading desk, and they've refuted that. So apparently that is still a possibility.
They've refuted the refute?
They've refuted the, yes.
The original refute.
It's
They
a double
refuted it,
refute.
They refuted, so it's a double refute.
They should have just feuded it.
They
And
would
then
have had it done
two
anyway.
negatives as a positive.
Read. Yeah, they feuded.
He's off his medication.
Every day.
It's just a thing. We love Tim Draper, don't we? Tim Draper.
No, they did not like Tim Draper. They're like,
We
no,
like Tim Draper.
screw Tim Draper.
No, we like
He doesn't wear Lightpoint ties.
But he's crypto bullish.
And he's like the first investor in Tezos, really gave that a big bump. That was really exciting. He's very clued into what's happening in the crypto
Tell
market.
Mr. Travis Wright. He doesn't know
I
that.
like Tim Draper. I think he's a nice guy. You guys are the ones that didn't like him.
We heard from Adam yesterday, who, a big Litecoin proponent, who was one of the keynote speakers at the conference. So it seems like
Well, what do you think of this? He predicts that the total crypto market cap in the next 15 years will hit 80 trillion. What do you think?
What is worldwide GDP right now? Like somewhere in that vicinity?
A lot.
So it's
More than
saying
that.
that crypto is going to come in and be equal to the entire output of the world. I mean, in 15 years, yes, what we're seeing is huge amounts of production. That's obviously going to keep increasing. So maybe it will increase so much that crypto will also add to that. And I don't know. I mean, he's a smart guy. He's not pulling this out of nowhere. It's based on something. So
When you
if he's
factor
right,
in-
it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, if you factor in not only just GDP, but then all the gold, all the stocks, all the real estate, all the other assets that's out there. I mean, I've heard the number as high as $1.4 quadrillion of worldwide wealth, not just the amount of wealth per year, but overall. And so to me, I'm thinking, man, 15 years, we're going to hit 80 trillion. I think we could hit 100 trillion by 10 years. I mean, if more and more things become digited, the more assets become tokenized, right? And
it's an interesting world. That's Andreas Antonopoulos' vision, right? He sees this world where we're going to have thousands of competing currencies and competing ecosystems, and they're going to be interchangeable, and it's all going to happen under the hood. We're not even going to know what we're paying with, and that's something that Scott Stornetta says as well. He's like, listen, we've got a future where we've learned how to decentralize decentralized trust. This is huge. So this is going to be applied not just to currency, where we need to be able to decentralize trust. This is going to be applied to all kinds of industries. It's going to be applied to data and to your health records and to land titling and to, you know, if all of this stuff is on the blockchain, then yeah, maybe we're going to get to a world where blockchain is integrated into our lives in a way that we've never seen before. I mean, this is a guy who cited 4 out of the 8 times in the Satoshi Nakamoto white paper. He understands blockchain technology.
Preach it, girl.
So it's interesting to hear his vision and to you know, as opposed to someone like Jimmy Song who says, look, blockchain is not this magic dust you can sprinkle on things and it's wonderful. Like, you know, it's interesting. You have 2 competing visions there. We don't quite know what's going to happen yet. It's definitely a possibility. Maybe Tim Drake is right.
Yeah. There was a great tweet by Philip Nunn a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about the amount of crypto spend per year. So in 2014, it was around $15 million a day was traded in crypto. 2014. 2015, it 3x. Then it was sitting at $45 million a day was traded in crypto. Then the next year, it 5x to about 200 million. And then in 2017, it 10x to over $2 billion a day was traded. And then another 9x this year. We're sitting at about $18 billion a day is traded in crypto. So we're looking at something like this. So what is next year if you 3x that or 5x that? We're looking at $1 trillion a day being traded.
What about the people who say that this is a
$100 billion
you know,
a
this
day,
is just going to burst and this is completely unfounded and it's going to collapse? Like, what do you say to that?
Well, there's lots of numbers.
That's what Joel said.
Joel says, yeah,
Very articulately.
That's what I said.
He did invent the iFart app.
That's
answer
true.
is a fart.
That's right.
I actually believe that. Is that a true story?
It is a true story. If anybody saw Jimmy Kimmel was it last night?
2 nights ago.
He did a thing with kids and farts, because kids, you know, and
fart
kids.
apps, yes.
And so he actually pulled out our app because we have a fart in the app named the Kimmel.
And how did you get the sample for that?
I cannot disclose that. That is, you need a
I
high
don't think we
security
want to know that
clearance
actually. Let's
for that. Last news story, probably the most important story of
huge,
all.
you guys.
This is so big, it's going to need a big wall. It's going to be the biggest wall of all.
Yes. You can put your crypto kitties in it.
The 1 millionth crypto kitty has been released. It takes humans 9 months to make a baby, but in the same time, people made 1 million crypto kitties. And they celebrated the milestone with the millionth kitty Volcat. And if you go to their page, you can see this guy.
We'll just show you right here because we're so good at showing.
He's turning laptops around. There he is. There's Volcat.
Volcat, yeah. Somebody bought a crypto kitty not long ago for $170,000. Like, what? Who? What?
They should have
Doesn't
invested that
make
money
sense.
in the iPhone app.
In Lightpoint.
In bad coin.
No,
They should have bought bad coin.
Good stuff.
Well, thanks to Bitcoin Girl for joining us for our news
Thanks for
segment
having me.
today. She rocks. All right, Aaron, quick music bump there. Charlie, come on down, everybody. Where's Charlie? My naked head wants one of those hats, Charlie.
I definitely
For
won't.
you, get test that right there. He's on number 5.
Hello? Okay. Brought some gift. Not for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
What the hell's our gift?
I'm your gift. My dream has always been wanting to throw stuff at the audience. So here we go. I'm gonna throw out finalist hat. Actually, let me talk about
All at once.
Yeah. So these are Phoenix Den hats. If you don't get one right now, you can go and buy one from the Litecoin Foundation group. Who's heard of Dragon's Den? So last year there was this huge thing about Dragon's Den, which is like a group of secret Bitcoin supporters getting together in a Slack channel to talk about how to protect Bitcoin from Bcashers and Segwit 2xers and stuff. So made a joke that Litecoin, we have a Phoenix Den, which is a bunch of us, some of them are in this audience, as part of the secret Litecoin group that's here to protect Litecoin from Litecoin Cash people, maybe? created the Dragon's Den hat. I asked him to create a Phoenix Den hat, and he created one which looks awesome. Has a little Litecoin logo here. I don't know if you can see. So it's cool. So I'm gonna give away 10 of them. So people who are in the front.
Don't hurt each other.
Don't hurt each other.
Are these the all-time hats?
Yeah.
Very good. Throw them out, please. Woo! Oh yeah, very nice. Oh, get one, cut most of
I appreciate the love.
All right, so Aaron, you can cut all that because that doesn't make for good podcasting. But we'll get into here to the next segment, and here we go. In 3, 2, and now we are pleased to welcome back to the Bad Crypto Podcast for the second time.
Yes.
The second time, it was episode number 56, I believe. Charlie Lee, former Google employee and the founder of Litecoin. Give it up for him. Again, like you came back, that says something. Either you really enjoyed it the first time or you're just desperate for attention.
Probably the latter.
Last time we did the interview, I believe you were wearing a Yankees hat.
Red Sox, maybe?
Oh, snap.
I do remember it was Red Sox. I wanted to throw a little Yankee joke.
Well, your impressions of this first attempt at the Litecoin community and the foundation to put on this event.
Yeah, my impression.
Yeah.
It went
You do
awesome.
impressions?
Yeah, I think it was awesome. Considering the bear market, it was actually quite hard to get a big audience for a summit, especially like a coin like Litecoin, right? It's a much smaller community, but the turnout was amazing and the speakers were amazing, and I'm just really proud of everyone.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that because there was an article on Cointelegraph, I don't know, about a week ago, we covered it, where you were talking about that the crypto bear markets are a good time to get stuff done, right? And so maybe talk a little bit about that. What does that mean? Because, the bear markets for everybody else is a time to cry.
I've just noticed over the years that when there's a bull market, when prices are going crazy, people get so focused on the price, and they, like when I was at Coinbase, when there's a bull market, no one gets any work done. They're just like talking about the price, talking about stuff, and not working. But when there's a bear market, people get used to the bear market, and the price is low, it's okay, we just...
It's not okay.
Mr. Joe Pound doesn't even look at his blockfolio. He's like, I don't want to hear about it, don't tell me about it.
But we have to do the news once a week so that I have to markets.
That's because you got all these shitcoins.
That may not be true. Ow, Charlie.
I almost said, no, I sold all my Litecoin.
That's what you get. So it's a good time to get things done. For those that weren't at the keynote and those that are listening to the podcast at home who missed the keynote, you went over a number of key metrics to illustrate the growth of Litecoin over the past 4 or 5 years. Can you kind of just bullet point those really quickly, from 4 years ago to today?
You actually think I would remember my slides or
Just fake it.
So I think over the last 4 years, like Litecoin has grown a lot. I think the key important stuff is like hash rate. The hash rate has grown like, I remember, like 250 times since 4 years ago. Oh, thanks for my slides.
Here for you.
Those are your slides.
Yeah.
He's like looking for his other slides. He's like,
Wow, I like these pictures. In exchanges, we've had a lot of new exchanges, and like you were saying, every single exchange supports Litecoin pretty much, except for one key one, which they're going to launch. Gemini will launch Litecoin trading.
Some of that wiggle by, come on.
Yeah, there's no. But yeah, I'm really excited that, it's important to be able to get in and out of Litecoin for fiat. A lot of coins have this problem where exchanges these days are charging a lot of money to get listed. And unless you're like an ICO that raised a lot of money, you actually don't have money to
bribe these exchanges.
You know, what do you think of that? And I think with that word, using that word, you kind of just indicated, but elaborate on that, paying these exorbitant fees to be on the exchange.
I think it's kind of bad. It becomes more of a kind of like a pump and dump where you bribe, so to speak, these exchanges, they list it, and then your price goes up. So it's not a good environment where you have to do that to list your coin. But then that's the only way to, it makes sense money-wise for the exchanges to do that because it's another source of revenue. And so thankfully for Litecoin, since we've been around for so long, these exchanges have listed Litecoin without receiving any money. So I'm proud to say I've never bribed any exchange to list Litecoin. Yeah, it's kind of sucks to be in this environment.
I want to ask about, so that we had, we shot out some tweets, and the Litecoin Foundation shot out some tweets to get some questions from the community. One of the questions was from WSHEAP Weesheep. Wants to know, what is the future Litecoin Bitcoin differentiation plan, right? So with Lightning Network happening on Bitcoin and block size and some of these other things, like how are Bitcoin and Litecoin going to be different moving forward, aside from the amount of them and et cetera?
I think Litecoin is, I've always seen it as a complement to Bitcoin. So I see it as a cheaper, quicker, faster alternative to Bitcoin. And I think even with like the Lightning Network, Litecoin will still be the faster, cheaper on-ramp to the Lightning Network. Once you get onto the Lightning Network, you can easily convert between Litecoin and Bitcoin. They're actors as well. But you need on-chain transactions to get onto the Lightning Network, and Litecoin will still be the cheaper one. Cheaper and faster one. And also, potentially I see, so Lightning Network fees will still depend on the fees for the base chain because it's all relative. So maybe Litecoin will become more of a microtransaction on Lightning Network, and Bitcoin would be more than that. We don't know right now, but we'll see how that develops. And in terms of other differentiating factor, I think Litecoin can still act faster in terms of getting controversial changes in and help Bitcoin out in that aspect. So for example, last year, Litecoin was able to get SegWit activated first and help clear a lot of the FUD around SegWit for Bitcoin. And I think we can still do that for future more controversial upgrades.
So another question that was submitted by somebody from the community is, when will the holy grail of crypto happen, that Amazon will start accepting Litecoin for purchases?
We'd like the exact date.
Yeah, timestamp.
50 years.
50 years!
Well, that's insane. That's about it.
No, I mean, who knows, right? I think by the time when they actually do accept it, it would be it wouldn't be a surprise to people. Like, it would be like, what took you so long, right? It would be like everyone else is already doing it, what took you so long? So, but that might take a while, right? So, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't see that happening anytime soon, but you never know.
So, yeah, so there's a couple other questions here that we wanted to know around, right now, what would you say, what's wrong with the crypto space right now? What are some of the things that just kind of irk you? Besides being asked about that all-time high selling thing.
Take 4, Charlie Lee walks out again.
I think ICOs are bad for the crypto space.
All ICOs?
Most of the ICOs.
Yeah.
So, I think, just in general, I see a lot of them are scams. They're outright scams. A lot of them are, if not outright scams, they're set up to fail because of the incentive structures of ICOs where you get all the money already and there's no incentive to actually finish the product. And so, like, they have white papers that promise the road and they're not going to be able to deliver because they're trying to achieve the impossible and they already got the money. So I would say 90+% is just really bad and people are going to lose a lot of money. I think that's also why, like, we have regulation in place where you need to be an accredited investor. You need to have like $1 million, you need to be earning $250,000 before you can actually invest in startups, right? Invest in VC investment funds, because people are easily misled. And once you have like white papers that are really technical, has a lot of technical jargon, and really people who are really good at selling their product, it's easy to mislead investors to put money into the product that actually won't, into an ICO that actually won't succeed. And I think that's just bad, right? A lot of people are being misled, and right now, like a lot of most ICOs are down like 90+%, and everyone's getting hurt.
But what if ICOs were to do sort of a staged, raise? Because it's almost like once you hit a milestone, then you can unlock to that next phase, right? So then it's like you're actually, because you're right, like Tezos, they just got $200 million, and what's their incentive to start kicking ass, right? And then it's just like, I got $200 million now, I'm gonna go to Cayman Islands and chill for a month. Like, there's no incentive to actually build and hustle. The hustle mode is gone, right? So maybe if it's a staged ICO where you hit milestones, is like, how can it be fixed?
Fix it, Charlie.
Listen, come on, Charlie.
It's kind of hard to fix, right? So I think regulation could help a bit. I think regulation in this area is actually good it's for protection of consumers and investors. But then, like, I mean, I don't really know.
That's my favorite answer. It's like, the older you get, the less you realize that you actually know, and then it's okay to say, beats me, ask somebody else. Well, let's finish on a positive note then. What do you think is right with the crypto space? What really excites you? What trends do you see that pump you off?
This Litecoin Summit is what's right about crypto.
You guys are what's right about crypto!
I'm being honest here. I think people who actually come to Litecoin Summit, they're like, wow, this is actually different from all these other Bitcoin conferences they go to.
Because
right?
it's Litecoin.
Oh, that too.
It's 4 times faster.
It's the right coin.
Did you say it's the right coin?
Yeah,
Litecoin is the right coin. Yo.
Oh, the Travis Wright coin.
You want to sing it?
The right coin, Travis Wright coin. No. Like Kim Bosek rap. Coin Daddy's sitting down there. He'll bust out a rhyme. Good deal.
What was I saying?
Well,
yeah, so the difference between the Bitcoin conferences, so I've been to quite a few Bitcoin conferences. When I go to Bitcoin conferences or blockchain conferences, you just meet all these people trying to pitch you their next ICO, right? It's all about raising money with some dumb idea. They're not really excited about Bitcoin, Litecoin. They're not excited about money, right? About changing the future of money. And people actually who come to the Litecoin conference are different because they actually believe in the vision of Bitcoin, Litecoin being sound money and being fighting fiat and replacing fiat as real world money. And I think that's what makes a big difference. And I'm really excited that there are people that aren't just here for money. Actually, that sounds stupid.
We're not editing it though, we're leaving that.
Yeah, they're not here to, it's not about investment and speculation, it's more about changing the world.
They're here for sound money.
Correct.
Right? I heard you use that term multiple times.
Hard and sound money.
That's good. I was just here to pitch you my super Litecoin diamond project we're working on. Joel and I are.
Bad Litecoin, we're going to call it.
Is it the real Litecoin?
It is.
Yeah, it's the real
No,
Litecoin.
it's the real fake one.
Yeah, it's good.
Heavy coin.
Right on.
Let's go. Charlie Lee, give it up for him.